Sharing with
I am indeed. I'm sharing with Deputies O'Sullivan and Deputy Richmond as well.
Do you want to tell me after each? Do you want me to tell you after every 5 minutes?
I beg your pardon.
5 minutes.
We're doing 5 minutes.
Tell you at
yeah, thanks very much. That's Cancora. I just want to try and address 4 issues related to the finance bill and the budget that was introduced a number of months ago. The first of them concerns youth unemployment. I think the biggest threat facing this country's economy in the short term and indeed the long term is the occurrence of long-term youth unemployment. We know from other economies, we know from our history and the history of other countries that that is something that can destroy not just an economy but a society. I welcome the fact that the PUP has been reintroduced at the high level in order to ensure that anyone who lost their job recently has the benefit of it. I also think the government needs to be commended for the employment wage subsidy scheme. It is an important piece of our armoury in order to protect young people who are in various vulnerable jobs but who can be protected by the state's stronger financial arm in order to ensure that their jobs persist. I think it's something that we need to ensure continues to operate for as long as we're introducing restrictions. I also think the government needs to look, however, in respect of the EWSS, to whether or not companies which are receiving this are at the same time paying out dividends to their shareholders. That's something that I think would be against the spirit of it. I raised that issue with the Minister for Finance in a parliamentary question and I didn't get a full answer in respect of it. A second issue that I think we need to discuss and keep a close eye on is the continuing role of foreign direct investment in Ireland and the importance of it to our economy. We can see that as a result of the downturn in the economy because of the pandemic and the restrictions, that in fact the domestic Irish economy has suffered significantly. What's noticeable, however, is that the multinational sector, the FDI part of Ireland's economy, has operated very well and continued to operate very well. We see that in the fact that the revenues coming from those companies are continuing. And I think it does underline the importance that that sector plays in our economy. And I think the government should be aware of it. I think we have to be careful to ensure that we protect that aspect of our economy. In that regard, I think it's noticeable that in the budget there was introduced an immediate change to the capital allowances regime under Section 291A of the Tax Acts. Now, irrespective of the merits of that change, that's Cancora, I think we have to be careful about introducing changes that affect foreign direct investment that are immediate or are unannounced. And I think there should be greater engagement with that sector to ensure that we can retain the large amount of expenditure and exchequer that can come from that section and which supports the Irish economy. The third thing I want to refer to concerns the Employment Investment Incentive Scheme. And I think a strange feature of that scheme is that investors in a qualifying company can get 40% tax relief provided they're not a connected party. And the effect of this is that tax relief is available to those with surplus income in respect of such investment, but is not available to a person who's developed a small business and wants to further develop it by investing his earned income into it. And I think the EIS scheme should be amended to ensure small businesses can secure investment from those most interested in developing such businesses. Why not encourage a person who's invested in a small business to develop it further? I think that is something that the government should look into in respect of that scheme. The fourth and final matter I just want to refer to concerns the Help to Buy scheme. I think we need to recognise that for people who are earning €40,000 a year or less, that it is still very difficult for them to avail of the Help to Buy scheme because of the requirement to meet a mortgage and to get a mortgage for the purpose of it. I think we need to recognise that we can't have a situation where acquiring accommodation and purchasing accommodation is beyond the means of people who earn standard wages or average wages of €40,000 a year, or low wages rather, is what they are. So I think we need to look at that to ensure that house ownership is available to persons at the lower end of the income ladder, and to ensure that our economy can progress by having people operating within it who have the stability and security of a home that they know that they will own themselves through their hard work and their investment. Thanks, that's
Thank you very much.